Hey, what's going on with you? This your boy, Big MC, aka Mark, aka Skater Claus, aka a lot of things, coming at you live from the Skater Claus Labs, with another hip hop breakdown. So, what I'm gonna do today is something that I haven't done since my first video, which is just break down one song, and this is the song Hazmat Rap off of the first album by CZARFACE, which CZARFACE is a collective of the MC Esoteric with his longtime producer 7L, and then, the legend from Wu-Tang Clan, Inspector Deck. And one of the things I love about, Inspector Deck and Esoteric, but, especially Esoteric, is the wordplay that they use. So in a lot of my videos, I play clips of a lot of different songs and break them down. But for this one, I'm just going to break down this one song and kind of like the complexity of lyrics and focus on wordplay. So here we go. This song's called Hazmat Rap. I'm going to, play parts of it and then pause it so I can like talk about the lyrics. So here we go. Hazmat Rap. It's got a dope video, so check it out. The beat, I would say, is a little different from what they normally do, because they're known for using like obscure samples from like cartoon shows and different things like that, like vocal samples. This one's just more straightforward. I mean, it's still like sample basis on the ones and twos. In the video, you can see 7-0 spinning, but yeah,
this is Hazmat Rap. Scratch that.
It's a little different.
See niggas dropping like the NASDAQ stats. Black popping like a ass that's fat. Trapping that cash. On top of that, I'm getting ass cap stacks. INS, I never sleep. Meaning I'm an all-nighter, liver than the Tribeca streets. Untouchable was never in your reach. Sick to the bone, they call me bonafide Holmes.
Alright, so I'm going to stop it there for one reason, because again, I'm breaking this down in depth. So what I really like about this first part is, you could hear him say, first of all, he's like, we rocking, he uses the N-word, I don't use that personally, so I'm not going to say it, but he's like they're dropping like the NASDAQ stats, and then he rhymes NASDAQ stats with ASCAP stacks. And if you don't know what ASCAP is, well, first of all, I mean, if you don't live in America, NASDAQ is a stock index. And I mean, the Wu's from New York, so that's topical for them. But then ASCAP is, let's see, I think it's the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers. So he's talking about how he's getting, stacks of dough from his royalties off of the Wu-Tang songs. So I think that's pretty cool. He also says, I'm an all-nighter, liver than the Tribeca streets. Tribeca is, a neighborhood in New York, and I think that's pretty cool. So that's his first part. Another thing is, like, this group is a group I talked about in my video, that I talked about, like, how there can be groups that are really good at passing the mic back and forward during verses or even during bars, and they're really good at it. So, like, this isn't even the first verse, that's just the first part by Inspector. And now it's going to go to Esoteric. So let's hear Esoteric's part, and I'll break it down.
Like a beast, y'all be on that other shit. This is that gutter shit. Y'all team be junk mail just to waste of a click. Telling me to ask somebody, so I had to hack somebody. A stupid question and I'm leaving with my hatchet bloody. Rappers study and they try to gather data from me. I earn my stripes so my rep match my rugby. Raps is ugly and all the hood rats love me. All dogs go to heaven but no cats above me. Nah.
Alright, so I quit it right when it was going into some cuts, which I kind of am sorry about, because I love cuts. One of the things I love about this group, about 7L, is like he's an old school DJ, and no hate towards people who don't actually spin records. Whatever, do what you do, but 7L can actually spin records and make cuts, and I like that. I think it's a cool element of hip hop. But like, let's listen to what Esoteric said and kind of like break it down. So he's like, I be on that gutter shit, blah, blah, blah. But then this next line is great. He says, your whole team is junk mail, just a waste of a click. So you know, he's talking about how, like, when you get a piece of junk mail, you know, click delete, but he's saying your team, which means your crew. So he's saying that your whole crew is just junk mail. They're just a waste of a click. Click, you know, it's a double entendre between clicking the junk mail delete button and a click, which is, you know, a group of people. And then he says, telling me to axe somebody, so I had to hack somebody. So if you don't know, if you don't, like, if you haven't spent a lot of time in the hood or in the South, like, a lot of times people, instead of saying ask, they say axe. Let me ask you something. So he's saying, you know, telling me to ask somebody, so I had to hack somebody. Pop a stupid question and I'm leaving with my hatchet bloody. So he's making fun of the fact that some people use the word axe instead of saying ask. And it's just a cool, like, play on words. I mean, he's one of the best with wordplay out there. So he says, rappers study and they try and gather data from me, which is just a good line. And then he says, I earn my stripes so my wets match my rugby. So with that, that is like some military kind of lingo. Like, so wets, I believe, I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, but wets are like your official uniform. And when we talk about stripes, like there's medals, but there's also like stripes, like these things that are like different striped badges that you wear that symbolize like your rank and position and things you've accomplished. I don't know a ton about it, but basically what he's saying in here by saying, you know, I earn my stripes so my wets match my rugby, is he's talking about a rugby shirt, which, you know, rugby shirts are all striped. And he's talking about how, you know, he's earned his place in the game so that, you know, if he had, you know, wets, as in, like, you know, if he had a uniform for his rap game, there would be so many stripes on it, like badges of honor, that, you know, it would be as many as like his rugby shirts, which I think is pretty cool. The last line too is all thugs go to heaven, but no cats above me, and I think that's cool. I mean, there's that movie All Dogs Go to Heaven. I don't know if y'all have ever seen it, but it's a good song, and or sorry, it's a good kids movie, and he's basically saying, like, you know, it's a play on that, but then he says there's no cats above me, and when he says cats, he basically just means, like, you know, there's no other people above me in the game. So let's go back, and also when we go back, pay attention to 7L's, like, really, really, really dope cuts on the ones and twos, and this going into the next part.
Time for this realness. Time for this realness. Time for this realness. Time for this realness. Fly like I'm down in the cape. Rebel eyes, drive blocking my pace. Kick rocked in your face. Y'all old, there's homage to pay. I'm catching vision from my young G's. I don't need problem with Jay. Just shimmy, shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yam, shimmy, yay. Give me the mic and watch a nigga display. Going penitentiary hard, oh my God. Yeah, I'm from the home of the mobsters, crooks and cons.
Okay, so again, they switched the mic off real mad fast, so I just stopped it right at the end of you know, Inspector Deck's part, but there's a lot of things I like about that. So let's talk about the wordplay he uses, and then some of the other things he does that I think are cool mechanisms within the song. So the first line is, fly like I'm donning a cape, like I'm wearing a cape. So I just love that. It's a double entendre. He's talking about how, you know, fly, all, you know, obviously is also another term for just being fresh, just, you know, like dressing dope, stuff like that. But, like, he's saying fly like I'm donning a cape. I mean, that's like a allusion to, like, Superman or another superhero who's got a cape on. So I think that's dope. And then there's the other part we got to talk about, where he goes, shimmy, shimmy, ya, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yay. Give me the mic and watch the N-word display. Going penitentiary hard, oh my God. Yeah, I'm home. Yeah, I'm from the home of the mobsters, crooks, and cons. So if you know anything about the Wu-Tang Clan, you know that Shimmy Shimmy Ya was a song off of Old Dirty Bastard's first album, and it's an iconic song. And I like the fact that he takes that, reincorporates it, and like changes it up to make it for himself. So I think that's dope. I mean, I think that's a really cool technique that you can use. And music back in the day, like back in the days of like Jimi Hendrix, Bob Dylan, this and that, the copyright laws weren't the same. And you know, Bob Dylan wrote so many pop songs that you know probably don't even know all the ones he wrote. And it wasn't weird for people. It wasn't called people weren't biting when they took a song from someone else and did it in their own way. That's just kind of how music was. So I kind of like this. I think it's a cool device, and I think it's also like an homage to kind of that old school style music where people just, took something that existed and reworked it, did it in their own style, and made it work. So let's go into Esoteric's part next, second verse.
Fuck Patron, these shots of cortisone. You ain't Corleone and Orient Capone. More like Nora Jones with your boring poems. Save that Rambo actress alone. That's out. Got a thousand death. Mine's at an orphan tone. Smoking on the porch alone. Killing it with the gorgeous tone. Flow releasing mode. I got recorded in Rome. I'm in the water orchid clone. Wailing on y'all. Road status, no paling on y'all. I be back in the game. Attacking lanes, assailing on y'all. Spidey scaling on balls. This is Pharaoh Biz. Fight your man bailing on y'all. I be shredding like I got Eddie Van Halen on call. Hell cycle transmission. Never failing on y'all.
I'm gonna let this play out because the beat is so dope, and then I'll break down Esoteric's verse. You can't stop this. Alright, so a lot to unpack in that last verse by Esoteric, and like I said, I think he's probably the best with just wordplay. So, he says, F Patron, you need shots of cortisone. If you don't know what cortisone is, it's something that you get injected into you when you have a bad, like, sports injury or something. So, I think that's pretty funny. He talks about Corleone, Capone, Nora Jones, all rhyme really, really well together. I mean, there's a lot of like stuff we could unpack there, but to me, those aren't like the most interesting parts. So one of the next cool things he has is like, that style's got 1,000 dads. Mine's at an orphan home. So like, I don't know if it's intentional. But Old Dirty Bastard used to say that he called himself Old Dirty Bastard because there's no father to his style. And so he's saying here that style's got 1,000 dads. Mine's at an orphan home. So Esoteric is basically saying like your style, you took it from someone else, and mine's from an orphan home. There's no father to my style. And that's kind of like what Old Dirty Bastard would say. Also, he says, smoking on the porch alone, killing it with a gorgeous tone. I don't know exactly what that is, but I'm a dad, and, here's a secret. Don't tell anybody. I smoke marijuana. And when I do it, I'm usually out smoking on the porch alone. I don't know if that's what he's talking about, but part of me thinks maybe that's what he's referencing. Alright, so what is the other thing that I want to talk about? Okay, alright, there's one more thing I want to talk about, and then we'll cut this video out. So, he says, I be shredding like I got Eddie Van Halen on call. No, sorry, not shredding. He says, I be sweating like I got Eddie Van Halen on call. Now, if you don't know, there's a Van Halen album called Sweatin'. So I think that's a pretty funny reference right there. And I mean, again, like, good wordplay, really great beat, old school. They kind of keep out the, they don't do like the crazy cartoon samples and stuff in this song. but I like it. Like, I think this stands up to anything that people put out today. And, you know, there might be some people out there that, you know, can best them with lyrics, but I don't think there's many people that can best them with wordplay. So that's Hazmat Rap, and just check out CZARFACE. Like, they're dope, and they put out like records at an alarming pace. They put out, you know, a bunch of records themselves. They put out one with MF Doom. They put out one with Ghostface. They're one of my favorite groups, and I think, you know, I talked about it in the old school versus new school video, where I think that they're underappreciated just because they use the old school production style, but they're absolutely pushing the limits of what can be done with rhyming, especially when it comes to wordplay. So, please check out CZARFACE, check out Esoteric, check out, you know, the INS, the Rebel INS, you know, Inspector Deck, God from the Wu-Tang, because these are the people that are getting overlooked, who put out rap music that is pushing the boundaries of what can be done lyrically. So, that's all I gotta say. Peace, love, respect from your boy, Big MC, aka a lot of things. Have a good one, and as usual, just make sure you don't get captured. Peace.